Today, we're getting into the nuts and bolts, well, quite literally, of mechanic certifications here in the US. Uh-huh. If you've ever wondered, how to sort the really skilled mechanics from the others, or maybe you're thinking about a career under the hood yourself, this is definitely for you.
Indeed. Yeah, the whole world of auto repair can feel pretty complex, a bit like a maze sometimes. And certifications, well, they act like important signposts. They offer both the pros and, car owners like you a much clearer path. Okay, so for
Okay.
this episode, we're really digging into the insights from A Guide to Mechanic Certifications, Which One is Right for You, published by ShopOfficer. We're trying to pull out what you really need to know. Let's get into it.
One, two, three, four.
Welcome to ShopTalk, the podcast where auto repair pros get real insights to grow smarter, run smoother, and boost profits. Right. So our mission today is tackling that big question about mechanic certifications. What's essential to understand whether you're, say, aiming to climb the career ladder in auto repair, or maybe you just want that peace of mind knowing your car's in expert hands? Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this then. First things first, what is a mechanic certification actually?
So, at its core, it's basically an official credential. It recognizes a technician's knowledge and, importantly, their skills in the pretty complex field of auto repair and maintenance.
Okay.
And these aren't just, casual nods of approval. They're actual credentials usually granted by respected industry organizations, or sometimes even the vehicle manufacturers themselves.
So it's a bit more formal than just saying, yeah, I know how to fix cars. Why is that such a big deal for maybe a garage owner hiring someone, or for us when we're choosing a repair shop?
Precisely. Yeah, it's much more than just saying it. For employers, certified mechanics offer a level of assurance, right?
Right.
It suggests these folks have gone through specific training. They have the necessary skills to diagnose and fix today's really sophisticated vehicles. And that can mean higher quality work, maybe fewer comebacks.
Fewer headaches for the shop owner.
Exactly. And for customers like you, it's a tangible sign. It points to proven skills, professionalism. It just gives you more confidence in the service you're getting.
That totally makes sense. Now, the guide mentions licensing versus certification. It sounds like they're not quite the same thing in the US. Could you clear that up?
Yes, and that's a really crucial distinction to make. Licensing requirements for mechanics, well, they actually vary quite a bit state by
really?
state. Yeah, unlike some jobs where you need a general license everywhere, that's just not the case for all auto mechanics here. But some states do have specific rules.
Okay, maybe give us an example or two, because I think a lot of people might just assume it's the same everywhere.
Sure. So take Michigan, for instance. In Michigan, mechanics actually need a state-issued license to work professionally.
Okay, mandatory there.
Right. Now, contrast that with, say, California. Their approach is a bit more targeted. They require certification specifically for doing emissions-related repairs. That's handled through their Bureau of Automotive Repair, the BAR.
Ah, I see. So not a blanket mechanic license in California, but focused on emissions.
Exactly right. And it gets even more varied. Other states might have, voluntary certification programs. They encourage mechanics to get certified, but it's not legally required for every type of repair work.
Interesting.
And you might also find specific licenses needed for particular tasks, like handling refrigerants in car AC systems. That EPA Section 609 certification is a key one there. We can probably touch on that again later.
Okay, so the big takeaway then for anyone working as a mechanic or thinking about it is you really need to check the rules for your specific state.
Absolutely. Knowing the local legal requirements is just fundamental. But it's also worth pointing out, even where a license isn't mandatory across the board, holding recognized certifications can still give you a pretty significant edge. How so? Well, when you're looking for a job, it just makes you a more attractive candidate to potential employers. Simple as that.
Right, makes sense. Okay, now, the guide calls ASE certification the gold standard. That sounds pretty definitive. What makes it earn that kind of reputation?
Well, ASE stands for Automotive Service Excellence. And that word excellence is really key.
Okay.
It signifies a commitment to high standards. What really cemented ASE's position is its rigorous testing process. It's developed and kept up to date with input from industry pros, making sure the standards stay relevant. reflecting real-world challenges.
So it's not just some test they made up once.
Not at all. Yeah, that's why it's so widely
Yeah.
recognized and frankly respected across the entire U.S.
So if I see that blue ASE logo at a repair shop, that's generally a sign.
Generally, yes. It indicates they employ technicians who've met these standards. Now, ASE offers several main certification series, each focusing on different areas.
Okay.
The most common one is probably the Automobile and Light Truck series, the A series. That covers the essential repair skills, things like engine repair, brakes, and those complex electrical and electronic systems.
Which seem to get more complex every year.
Tell me about it. Understanding wiring diagrams, sensors, computer controls. It's the nervous system of modern cars. Then you've got the Collision Repair Series, the B Series. That's bodywork, painting, structural repairs after a crash.
Right.
And for those working on bigger stuff, there's the Medium Heavy Truck Series, the T Series covering commercial trucks and heavy-duty vehicles.
Gotcha. And I think I saw something about advanced level specialist certifications too. What are those about?
Yeah, those are for techs who really want to deepen their expertise in very specific, often complex areas.
Like what?
Well, the L1 certification focuses on advanced engine performance. Think really tricky diagnostic challenges in modern engines. McKay. And super relevant
Okay.
now is the L3 certification for hybrid electric vehicle specialists. With so many EVs and hybrids hitting the road, this is becoming incredibly important. And it's not just basic
I bet.
electrical stuff. It's high-voltage systems, battery management, all the unique safety protocols you need. As EV use grows, this specialization is going to be vital.
Definitely. So getting ASE certified, it's not just a matter of showing up for a test, is it? What's the actual process?
No, you're right. It takes real effort. Typically, you need to pass a pretty challenging written exam for your chosen specialty.
Okay, the knowledge part.
Right. But it's not just book smarts. You also have to prove you have practical,
much?
real-world experience. The standard requirement is at least 2 years of hands-on work experience in the
2
field.
years, okay.
Although there is an alternative, you can combine 1 year of formal automotive training, like from a tech school, with 1 year of relevant work experience.
Okay, so a mix of knowing the theory and actually being able to do the work. Now, for those general auto mechanics, the guide listed 9 core tests in that A series. 9. That sounds like a serious undertaking.
It's pretty comprehensive, yeah.
What do they cover specifically?
Those 9 tests basically cover all the major systems in a typical car or light truck. So you've got AON for engine repair, the heart of the vehicle. ATWU is automatic transmission transaxle, how it shifts gears. A3 covers manual drivetrain and axles. A 4 is suspension and steering, key for ride and safety. Makes sense. A 5 is all about brakes, obviously critical. A6 gets into those complex electrical and electronic systems we mentioned. A7 is heating and air conditioning comfort systems. A8 is engine performance, focusing on efficiency and diagnostics. And finally, A9 covers light vehicle diesel engines, which is a growing area too.
Wow, that really does cover the whole vehicle, practically. And if a mechanic actually passes all 9 of those A-series tests, is there something special for that?
There absolutely is. If a technician successfully passes all 9 of those core A-series exams, they earn the title of Master Automobile Technician.
Master technician. That sounds impressive.
It is. It's a significant achievement and widely seen as a mark of really exceptional, well-rounded expertise in the auto repair field.
Okay, so we've established ASE is highly regarded. It's tough to get. But what's the real payoff for the mechanic who goes through all that? Is it genuinely worth the time and effort?
Yeah, that's the bottom line, isn't it? The value proposition is actually quite strong. From a career standpoint, certified mechanics often see higher earning potential.
More money.
Yeah.
Often, yes. Employers are frequently willing to pay more for that proven skill level.
Yeah.
It also definitely enhances job security.
How so?
Well, many repair shops either require ASE certification outright or strongly prefer it. So, it gives certified techs a distinct advantage when they're looking for jobs or trying to keep one.
Right. And I suppose if you're running a shop, you want techs who are less likely to make mistakes, maybe fewer comebacks or warranty issues.
Exactly. That's a real tangible benefit for the business owner. Fewer errors, happier customers.
Makes sense.
And for the individual mechanic, it doesn't stop there. ASE certification can open doors to significant career growth.
Like moving up.
Yeah, master technicians or those with advanced certs like the Loan or Lee 3 are often top candidates for lead tech roles, shop foreman positions, things like that. It can even be a stepping stone to opening your own repair business eventually. And we shouldn't forget the customer angle again. Knowing your mechanic is ASE certified, it just builds trust. It gives you more confidence.
So it really sounds like an investment that pays dividends throughout a mechanic's career. Now, the guide also mentioned ASE isn't the only game in town. What other kinds of certifications should people know about?
That's a good point. While ASE is kind of the broad standard for general repair, there are other important certification, especially for specialized areas.
Like what?
Well, one key category is manufacturer-specific certifications.
You mean like from Ford or Toyota or BMW?
Exactly those. The major car brands offer their own really in-depth training programs and certifications.
And who usually gets those?
They're particularly valuable, even necessary sometimes for mechanics working in dealerships, obviously, but also for independent shops that specialize in a particular make. Okay, this training goes deep into the unique systems and tech used just by that manufacturer. Think of it like, a general doctor versus a heart surgeon, both skilled but different focuses.
Good analogy. So if your main job is fixing Hondas, getting Honda certified is a smart move.
Absolutely. It shows a really high level of expertise, specifically on those vehicles, their quirks, their specific engineering.
Got it. What else?
Then you've got the whole area of hybrid and electric vehicle certifications. We touched on the ACEL 3.0, which is becoming critical.
Right, with EVs becoming more common.
Exactly. And some manufacturers also have their own EV-specific training and credentials now, too. This expertise is definitely in high demand, and, well, that's only going to increase as more EVs are sold.
Seems like a good area to specialize in for the future. What about mechanics working on the really big rigs?
Yeah. For technicians specializing in commercial trucks, buses, heavy equipment, you need diesel mechanic certifications. Okay, the ASET series covers medium-heavy trucks, as we said, and again, many manufacturers of diesel engines and the trucks themselves think Cummins, Caterpillar, PACCAR offer their own specialized certifications. Those machines have their own complexities.
Makes sense. And you mentioned that EPA one again earlier, Section 609. Remind us what that's for.
Right, the EPA Section 609. That's a very specific one, but it's legally crucial. It's mandated by law for anyone who handles refrigerants when they're working on vehicle air conditioning systems.
Why the legal requirement?
It's because those refrigerants can be harmful to the environment if they're not handled correctly. So proper recovery, recycling, disposal, it's critical. This certification ensures techs know those procedures.
Okay, so if my car's AC is busted, I should probably make sure the tech working on it has that EPA 609 cert.
Precisely. It's not just good practice, it's the law, and it shows they're handling those chemicals responsibly.
This has been super helpful. So let's say someone listening is thinking, okay, I get it, I want to get certified. What are the basic steps they need to take?
Well, the path to becoming certified generally involves a few key stages. First, and often most important, is getting practical work experience.
Right, the hands-on part.
As we talked about, most certifications, definitely ASE, require a certain amount of time actually working in an auto repair shop or similar environment.
So you can't just read a book, pass a test, and be certified.
Generally, no. The certification is meant to validate both your knowledge and your practical ability. So once you've got some experience under your belt,
Then what?
the next step is to carefully choose the right certification. Think about your career goals, what kind of vehicles you work on or want to work on. Is it broad ASE? Yes. A specific manufacturer? A specialty like diesel or EV?
Makes sense. Focus your efforts.
Exactly. After you've picked your path, then it's time to prepare for the exam. Luckily, ASE and other groups usually offer study guides, online resources, practice tests to help you get ready.
Okay, study up.
Then, of course, you actually have to take the exam. For ASE, these are usually done at supervised parametric test centers, which are located all over.
Right. And after passing the test,
Finally, you need to meet any additional requirements. For ASE, the big one is getting your work experience officially verified after you pass the test before they issue the actual certification.
gotcha. So it's a whole process, blending study and real-world proof. To kind of wrap things up then, let's just quickly reiterate. Why are these certifications so important in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah. Ultimately, mechanic certifications really serve as a powerful validation. They prove a technician's expertise in a measurable way. They demonstrably boost career opportunities, often lead to better pay, and they definitely help mechanics stand out in what can be a pretty competitive field, right? So, whether the goal is to become an ASE Master Tech or get that specialized knowledge from Ford or Toyota, or maybe focus on the future with EV training, pursuing certification is just a really significant investment in long-term success in the auto repair world.
Absolutely. It sounds like, especially with cars getting more and more complex, having these credentials isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's becoming, well, pretty essential. I'd agree with that. So here's something to leave you all with. Considering this constant march towards more sophisticated vehicles, hybrids, EVs, advanced driver assistance, how might this ongoing drive for ever more specialized certifications continue to shape the future of auto repair? And maybe just as importantly, how will it affect the level of trust we as consumers place in the people fixing our increasingly complex cars? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in to Shop Talk by ShopOfficer. If you found this helpful, share it with a fellow mechanic or shop owner and follow for more real-world advice. Want to take your shop digital? Visit shopofficer.com to get started for free. Until next time, keep wrenching smarter.
1, 2.